So we're here with Kim Muir, student number what?
169-35096.
Cool. It's, what's the date today? 6th of the 6th, Wednesday in Tauranga. So just take 1 minute, Kim, to jot anything down that you need to before we get into the formal test. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to read you the scenario, and then we'll turn over that ECG and just read the number that's on it. Okay, the scenario is a 59-year-old male. It's 0400 hours. He's woken with central chest, jaw pain. Central chest and jaw pain. His skin is warm and dry. He's got a history of angina. Medications are aspirin, metoprolol. His blood pressure is 140/90. His capillary refill time is 2 seconds. His rest rate is 16 a minute. And he's got pain 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So when you spin that over, you've got exactly 7.5 minutes.
Cool.
I'll let you know when you've got a minute or so to go.
Cool. Okay, so this is ECG 1. General impressions, it's clear. We've got a bit of obvious ST elevation in the septal leads, and so technically there is no frequency of 0.05 to 150 Hertz. There's no paper speed. There is a collaboration spike of 10 millimeters by 0.2 seconds. It is a clear tracing. There doesn't seem to be any obvious artifact. AVR is predominantly negative, which shows our limb leads are all correct. R wave, there seems to be normal R wave progression. There are no patient demographics apart from what we've verbally been given. So P waves, we have got P waves in lead 1, lead 2, 3. We have P waves, so we don't have a high order block, so we're ruling it's indicative, we'll get back to it, but there doesn't seem to be any second or third degree heart blocks. So PR interval is 5, so 5 squeeze, which is 0.2 seconds, so that's normal in lead 1. 4 squeeze in lead 2. It doesn't seem to be getting progressively longer, so we can rule out second degree because there's one before every QRS. We can rule out third degree heart block. So QRSs, it's 0.04 seconds, which is within the normal range in lead 2, lead 3. Q waves. We need to look for Q waves to see if they're pathological. We have Q waves in V3, but they're not wider than 0.03 or higher than 1/3 the height of the R wave. Lead 4. So we've got no pathological Q waves. I did the QRS. R waves, we're looking for if there's any notching, or if we've got any RSR in V1, which there does seem to be RSR in V1, and lead 1 is mono, lead V6 is mono. Nothing standing out there at the moment. ST segments, we've got seems slightly depressed in lead 1, but not more than 1 mil. Lead 2's okay. Slight elevation in one of the leads in one of the beats in lead 3. We've got elevation in V1, elevation in V2, which is at the moment indicative of a septal MI. We'll go into further criteria a little bit later. There's also elevation in V3. There's no depression that I can see in V4 and 5, and none in V6. T waves, we've got what looks like slightly peaked T waves. They need to be higher than 1/3 of the R, corresponding R wave. So if we mark the R wave half, they appear to be half the height of the R wave. So we could have T changes. We've got T changes in lead 2. They're definitely peaked in lead 3. They're inverted in AVR, which is fine. They are inverted in AVL, which could indicate ischemia, but they're not inverted in lead 1. AVF, V1, inverted in V1, inverted in V2. Okay, so left bundle branch, we're looking at William Morris, so we're looking for deep Q waves in V1, which we could have. So there's a possible, but we don't have a wide QRS, so we don't have a wide QRS, so I'm going to rule out left bundle branch.
6 minutes.
And thank you. And we're looking for a notch in the R wave in V6 and 1, which we don't have. So I'm going to rule out left bundle branch. Right bundle branch, I'm looking for rabbit ears in V1. I'm looking for...
minute to go.
Shit. Okay, so I'm going to go to my stemming because that was my most obvious because I've run out of time. So we've got elevation of 1, 2, 3 mils in V2, and we have 3 mils in V1. I'm looking for reciprocal changes I would like to do, I'm looking for reciprocal changes of ST depression, which there isn't. I would probably do a V4R and posterior
V7 through 9 shows ST depression.
Those are my reciprocal changes.
Right, you've got 10 seconds to tell me the interpretation.
So my interpretation is an anterior septal MI due to my reciprocal changes and my elevation in the anterior septal leads.
Cool. Couple of questions. What status is this patient?
I put this patient as a status 1 because of the the skin was warm and dry, so I'll put them as a status 2 because there's no reduction in cardiac output at the moment, obvious reduction, but borderline status 1 because of the MI.
And which arteries are likely to be involved in this infarction?
So we are looking at the left anterior descending artery.
Cool. That. And take another 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Take another minute. I'll just make sure the camera's still going. To jot down any more notes you might need to. Seconds.
Oh, I didn't do rate or regularity. Fuck.
Cool. Okay, I'll read you this next scenario. Okay, this is a 30-year-old female. She's short of breath. She's presenting status 2. She's a brittle asthmatic. She's had ICU admissions 2 years ago. She's also had a mitral valve repair as a child, secondary to acute rheumatic fever. She's denying any chest pain. So when you spin that over, I'll start the clock. You've got 7.5 minutes. Don't forget to read out the number of the ECG that it is.
This is ECG 2. General impressions, we've got notching of the R waves in AVR 3 and AVF. We have AVR there's no frequency, there's a calibration spike of 10 mil by 2.2, frequency of 25 millimeters per second. There isn't any. There's no paper speed. I've said that one already. Frequency is 0.05 to 150 hertz. AVR is predominantly negative. There are no patient demographics. The rate, if we go R wave 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. Is it regular? It is regular. Using the 1500 method. The heart rate is 88, so it would be sinus. Okay, there are P waves before every QRS. It is a little bit messy to read, but we do have a P wave before every QRS. PR interval is less than 0.02, so it's within the normal range. It is uprightly, so we're ruling out heart blocks because it's not prolonged and because there's one before every QRS. Q waves, we're looking for pathological Q waves, which I'm not seeing. ST segment, I'm looking for elevation or depression. Got elevation in V1, elevation in V2, V3, V4, V6, AVL, 1, okay, T waves, no, we don't have elevation in those ones. We've got T waves in V1, V2, V3. They're not inverted or anything, and they look pretty normal. So left bundle branch, I'm looking for big dagger waves. QRS, is it widened? Yes, we have widened QRS, so we're looking for bundle branches or conduction delays in the ventricles. We've got deep dagger waves in V1, and we've got monomorphic waves in 1 and V6, which indicates a left bundle branch block. Left atrial enlargement, we're looking for the Sokolov line criteria, so the sum of the deepest S, so what's that, 5, 10, 15, 20, 22, and highest R and 5 or 6, so what's that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 39, so it looks like we've got left ventricular hypertrophy as well, which is consistent with her history. We've got elevation in V1 and V2, V3. I would like to be doing a 789. Is there anything on there about 789 for reciprocal changes?
There's no ST changes
okay.
in
so I've been looking at Scarbosa criteria to rule out MI, so it'll be more than, the first one would be more than 1 millimetre in contiguous leads, which we do have. So positive there, so I would be considering a possible MI, even though there's no reciprocal changes. And we also have, is it concordant? No, we've got discordance, so I'm going to rule that out and just call it branch blocks. We've got axis. Our axis is down, so we've got, it seems like initially with the thumbs criteria we've got left axis deviation. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, 0 down, so 5 across, and AVF we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 up, so 7 down, so -7. So we could have, looks like we've got left axis deviation as well. What's the time like?
You've got 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, so I can look for a little bit more. So I'm going to go left bundle branch with left ventricular hypertrophy and left axis deviation. Just want to look at this ST elevation. Okay, this one was a little bit easier for me, so I'm going to say it is a sinus rhythm with left bundle branch block, left ventricular hypertrophy, and left axis deviation.
Cool. What could you do to help identify whether it's a new or an old left bundle branch block?
You can first of all ask the patient. You can look at previous ECGs if there are any, to see if they've had it previously.
And how is the history of the mitral valve repair relevant to this patient's ECG?
So the mitral valve repair would basically affect the left atrium, which would indicate that they would have they could have pulmonary hypertension. They could also have reduction in the ejection fraction into the ventricles, and that would lead to growth of the atria, causing the hypertrophy.